When you talk about reservation, you actually raise the hopes of people who may want reservation. Don't you think this is just a SOP because of the elections and nothing else, if you look at it today?
We have to look at Karnataka in isolation for that matter. And we've got to see where Karnataka currently stands. Karnataka has already exceeded the 50% cap. And of course, the EWS reservation will certainly take reservation up by 10%. So Karnataka has already exceeded a 60% cap on reservation. And the Supreme Court always has been saying that you can exceed this cap only if there are extraordinary circumstances. And every government that exceeds this cap says that they have extraordinary circumstances. And nobody knows what these extraordinary circumstances are. I don't think Mr. Siddaramaiah is himself able to articulate what these extraordinary circumstances are. He's been a chief minister of Karnataka, and he was a chief minister for the full term of 5 years. He's expected to know that legally it would be almost impossible to, give effect to this election promise. But yet he tends to, he said what he has said with great fanfare. Now, the problem is this. I have I'm fairly certain that it would be nearly impossible to do anything more on the field of reservation. We would not be able to expand reservation because the court has time and again said that reservation, at this juncture can only be expanded if you have quantifiable data. Nobody has quantifiable data. There was caste census that was attempted in Karnataka, but was more or less given up because the government probably felt that, assuming that various insiders in the government saw the data and felt that the data would be damaging should it come out from a. So without a quantifiable data, the Honorable, ex-Chief Minister certainly knew that this is just a false election promise. But my worry is this. If this election promise is being seen by various other political parties across the country, and should they watch the outcome of the election, and apparently at this point of time, the various polls are giving Congress party the edge. Now, if the Congress party turns out to have more number of seats this election, then various other political parties will take a cue from this. And I'm so worried about what could be the future of this country. Notwithstanding that the 75% can simply not be given effect to at all, or even if given effect to, it will not have its day it will not be able to stand the scrutiny of the court. So I think we all have to be worried. And this is not just about some party making a false election promise, or for that matter, an exaggerated election promise. It's about where we see ourselves 10 or 15 years from now. If a country must, or if a state within a country must in fact want 75% reservation, it's fair to say that the state has practically failed in every respect. You will think of something as drastic as this if you are just coming out of 300 or 400 years of foreign subjugation.
Right.
We just finished 75 years of political independence, and this was the last thing that ought to have been promised. And it's upsetting. It's deeply upsetting, and of course, it ought to be condemned. I believe it has already been condemned widely, but then I will do my bit, which is to condemn it very severely.
Right. Sanket, let me get you in. Now, wherever there are cases where the court has, what Dhananjay was trying to say, and I started this conversation by saying pretty much, reservations for the Marathas, and the court said it violates the fundamental right of equality, and, it violates several principles. Mostly the court also has asked several times over, whenever the states have raised the reservation issue, is that where are you getting data from? Do you have any data to substantiate your demand of wanting more reservation or not? You know it, you're a practicing lawyer. Dhananjay said something which I also want to know is, except for this being an election SOP, Mr. Siddaramaiah has nowhere substantiated as to why he wants an increase in reservation in Karnataka.
Firstly, let us understand the reservation concept. There are two categories out of it. One that is reserved category, which is around 50-56%, which we have in the state of Karnataka now. The other one is unreserved, that's general category. What Mr. Siddaramaiah is trying to say is what Mr. Rahul Gandhi had promised on the basis of the caste-based reservation system, population-based reservation system. In a sense, even those who fall under the category of general category, those people would also be entitled to. There would be a separate class of citizens among the general category who would also be entitled for the reservation. So what Mr. Siddaramaiah had put forth is that those who are also eligible, who are also entitled to, who also have been deprived of the right to education or to employment, so on, and the benefits of the government as such, so are also entitled for the reservation, irrespective of the fact that they fall under the general category. So, what Mr. Siddaramaiah has said is a classification among the classified class, that is a general category, who would also be getting the benefit of the reservation. It is not that general categories' rights are being taken away. It is not that the reservation, by increase of it, would benefit only those who are not falling under the general category. That's a wrong conception. The point here which he has made, mostly he has not clarified it, is that the additional percentage of reservation would be for the benefit of the general class, of the general category. It is not that their share would be reduced. It is not that they would be deprived of the benefit. It is not that they would be denied of the benefit. It is in addition to what has been given to the other classes, they would also be entitled to, and
No,
they
no,
would also